the throngs of journalists who are here on the North Lawn. And there is Keir Starmer just coming off the plane now on his own, but we'll see who is behind him as they emerge for a big moment organised over the course of just a day. Yeah, it's going to be a big moment indeed. James Roscoe there, Britain's Deputy Ambassador to the United States, greeting him on the tarmac along with other British and American officials. A big day for Keir Starmer. He will head, as we've been saying, straight to the Ukrainian embassy in Georgetown, where he will be joined by Britain's ambassador to the United States, Peter Mandelson. And as I say, what we don't know is whether any of the other European leaders will be at the Ukrainian embassy as well.
That's right. But you've got to think, if quite a few of them are coming here to show their solidarity with President Zelenskyy, there will want to be a show, a visual show that Ukraine will want the world to see. So I wouldn't rule it out. And we're talking about images, we're talking about visual signals, competing visual signals that different actors in this drama want to show us. But Mark, when I look at the substantive differences, the substantive difficulties that also need to be got over, the hurdles, you do just wonder whether or not significant progress can be made today, whether it's on that subject of territorial gains or territorial exchanges, as you rightly point out, quite a lot of the land demanded by Russia, not even under Russian control at the moment.
And Russia not kind of giving up any of its own land. I mean, that's why it's such a strange phrase, territorial exchanges. They're not.
A tiny bit in the northeast, we understand, but areas that we don't really think substantively matter. And that area that Russia is trying to take control of, swathe the Donbass region, areas of industrial heartlands, heavily defended, areas that will be very hard for President Zelenskyy to give up, for Ukraine to cede. One person described what's going on over the last 72 hours with President Putin. It's a bit like this. President Putin has played his hand, and he's played quite a maximalist, sort of ballsy negotiating hand. He's probably conceded a bit more than he might have liked over some kind of security guarantee, while at the same time making a huge ask that he knows will be unpalatable in terms of land, and trying to neglect. He thinks he's played a clever card. I think President Putin gamed the summit in Alaska on Friday and effectively has done something that he thinks nobody will be able to accept, including figures in the convoy, British convoy, that you're seeing leave Andrews Air Force Base. He thinks that, of course, the Western community couldn't find that deal palatable. But at the same time, he has opened the door a crack on this issue of some kind of security guarantee for Ukraine, and that is the kind of I think that is the gap that the negotiators in Britain and across Europe want to exploit. What did President Putin mean? What is the US prepared to offer? And what can they actually substantively get out of, given what President Putin offered on Friday?
We got an intriguing moment, spotted an intriguing moment earlier on today, just over there on the North Lawn itself. They were bringing in the flags of all the nations represented here today. So we saw the Union flag, we saw the French tricolour, the Italian flag, all of them being taken in, ready to be put in the East Room, where this event, where the leaders will all gather, because there's not enough room for them all to be in the Oval Office. But one of the flags that was almost brought in was the NATO flag, and then intriguingly, perhaps indicatively, it was then taken out. Someone, presumably, had said, actually, that flag, we don't need that one now. And so it was put back into the van, and then the van was driven off. Look, maybe it will be there in the East Room, but the suggestion from what we saw is it won't. And I think that's really important, because to get Putin to agree to any sort of ceasefire, NATO has to have kind of nothing to do with it. So there should be no NATO in Ukraine. That goes back to, you know, the core problem that as Putin would see it. This is not about NATO. So although the NATO Secretary General, Mark Rutte, is here, probably carrying all the sycophancy that he had with the daddy comments a few weeks ago. NATO as a body is not represented visually with the flags. That's a kind of detail, but it's an important detail.
I mean, it's not just a detail. It seems like one of the big fundamental obstacles to a deal, because you had figures like Donald Trump's trade envoy, Steve Witkoff, talk over the weekend about NATO-style security guarantees being offered, being agreed to by Russia. But then Donald Trump on Truth Social today being very clear that NATO can be no part of this. So I don't know, Mark, what is a NATO-style security agreement that's not a NATO agreement? Does it do the same thing, or does it not do the same thing? Or to put it another way, if Ukraine is attacked by Russia in future, is there some kind of common defence agreement whereby members of the coalition of the willing, Britain, France, Italy, Germany, come in behind Ukraine and have the right of some sort to retaliate and repel the Russians? That is, in essence, that one of the fundamental ideas behind NATO. The body itself cannot be involved. Something has been offered by Russia. We are all very unclear about what precisely it means, but I wonder whether in that detail, that's where actually this discussion, this negotiation truly lies.
That is the detail that the Europeans want to get out of today. And you have to wonder whether maybe it's kind of a bit of a fudge. Trump is known for wanting quick fixes. He wants the Nobel Peace Prize. He wants to be able to say, look, I got the fighting, I got the killing, to use his phrase, I got the killing to stop. The danger, of course, and the reason the Europeans are here is because they're concerned that all that will do, if it is a short-term fix, a short-term fudge, is it will allow Putin to fight another day. So a really, really big moment here in the White House. We will have every twist and turn. Kamali, back to you.